Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Alpha Born. So today we've been building in a pearl cave on the island, and we're doing it on official settings. For your official guys, you are of course going to need to add more turrets, and for everyone watching this video, you are going to need to kind of add your own spam. I didn't do spam today because it takes up a lot of time for a base which is only going to be for one video. So this is basically a base design and a tour of the base, but of course you guys are to add to it and adapt it however you see fit. So subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Okay guys, let's have a quick run through of how I built and why. Okay, so basically doing the 50 turret kind of limit on the inside left me a lot more allowance of turrets on the outside. Now essentially when it comes to building in a pearl cave, it's great for hiding early game, but when you're ready to no longer hide, you really need to get defenses up on the outside, because of course inside the pearl cave is 6 times damage. So more defenses along the outside at 1 times damage, the better for you. However, you do need to try and get something on the inside of course to make sure once they do get in, there is still something causing some problems for raiders. So as you can see here, I've used multiple compartments. We've done mostly tech turrets. Now there are ways that rockets can be shot underwater, and of course that is a glitch or an issue, so that does need fixing. So because of that issue, I do recommend using at least a couple of heavies, but essentially You can focus primarily on tech turrets if that's more what you prefer, and underwater tech turrets are harder to get rid of. Small entrance, and I've attempted to make it smaller. Now believe it or not, that is actually about 20 volts. If you haven't seen my last video yet, go and check it out. It shows you how you can multi-stack and mesh volts within each other. So again, no base is going to be unraidable. The best you can hope for is to make it so expensive that it's just not worth it. So before actually being able to get a dino inside, or a big dino, they're going to have to waste resources on at least 20 volts. Coming through here, again, I've stacked a few more volts. Them 3 are actually 9 volts. I did 3 each. And then these 2 are just a standard 2. They are what you can see. But as you can tell already, you've got 9 and 20, and then 2. That's 31 volts just at the entrance alone before actually getting in. Coming past there, we have spammed pillars. Now, these are not actually randomly spammed, and I'm going to explain why they're there in a minute. But at first glance, my hope is that a raider will assume it's just normal base spam. And as you can see coming in, we have a vault wall all the way up to the ceiling. Now that of course is going to be the main defense, because even when they're near the vaults, they are going to need to be tanking if all the turrets are on high. Now if they do manage to get past this stage, or they do manage to get closer, that's when of course the velos and the turrets to the side will then start kicking in. And another thing that I've done as well, as you can probably see these vaults here, they are actually coming down and using the same snap point. Again, if you haven't seen my bridge video, feel free to go check that out. But what I've done here at the front of the cave, I'm using the exact same snap point all across. And the reason for that, it means I've then been able to basically build a small bridge above the water. Now that doesn't do anything special, okay? But the reason for that is this. If the raiders do get rid of pillars and vaults, the game will still tell them that they can't uncryo a big dino such as a golem to try and tank. Now they can most likely still do turtles, yes, or stegos or trikes, but I'm basically limiting the amount of free space they really have. Now again, like I said, that's not bulletproof, it's not 100% guarantee, it's just something to help me create an annoyance for the raiders. Now, if the raiders was somehow able to get rid of these vaults and get rid of the pillar so this ceiling would drop, then more vaults would actually drop onto them as a punishment for them figuring out my booby trap, basically. So essentially, if they don't destroy it, they can't uncryo big dinos. If they do destroy it, they have more vaults to contend with. Along the side, again, as you can see, we have a lot of bear traps. So if they've tanked this entire wall, because again we've done the multi-stacking vaults, this is probably 200 volts that you're looking at right now, maybe even 300. Again, if you haven't seen that, if you haven't checked out that last video of mine, go check it out now and you'll see how I've done this. But every row here of volts you can see are all a minimum of 5 volts each. And coming out of the water now, as you can see, we've done a 3-story build. Again, the second half of the base is actually a different snap point to the front of the base, so this is pretty much where the first snap point ends. Also, let me just mention, this entire base is actually ran on 1 generator. All the outside defenses are ran on a 2nd generator. So that's it. Everything you've seen so far and everything you will see in this video is simply powered by 2 generators. Of course, we also have 6 velos all lined up. Velos, I recommend a good amount of health. Focus mainly on stam because you want them to be able to shoot for a long period of time, and then of course melee damage. A common mistake here that a lot of players make: they put velos in turret mode, then they get on them and try and adjust them to get them into the perfect position, and then they wonder why velos walk away or walk off while they're attacking. That's because once you've sat on them, you've taken them out of turret mode. So you really need to sit on them, get them in the perfect position, and then change the settings to turret mode. Obviously put targeting on high, and then after turret mode, put them on aggressive. So coming through here, we have An actual vault wall, again, you can use this for main storage, or you can use it just as an extra barrier, because underneath here there of course are pillars, so we don't want to leave the vulnerable parts of the base too open. Coming around from the vaults, as you can see, a nice open area down here. You don't have to put the forge here. I haven't really focused too much on designing the perfect interior. I just wanted to basically give you guys a demonstration of what you could do or how you can expand from it. But because you've got a nice big open area, you can get a forge. Again, easy place to access everything. And then what I've also done is left that corner empty up top, which means up top I can also access the forge. So if it comes down to, let's say, metal or charcoal or wood or anything that you find heavy, you can also stick it in down here, then go all the way up to the top floor and start doing your grinding or crafting there. Now it's important to say this, with a generator at the furthest point, you are going to definitely want spam on the opposite side of it, out of the base. Pearl caves are very easy to mesh, unfortunately. Now I haven't really built this with, meshing and cheating in mind. I've built this with a standard legit players and how legit raiders will come against and built against that. But if you are concerned of mesh or being meshed, then yeah, always make sure you've got a lot of spam on the opposite side of the generator, because you want structures or dinos to stay away from the generator as much as possible. Tech storage boxes in the floor. Now I do like this style, it's really helpful and it does look really quite clean. And then of course if you didn't want to use the vaults at the front, you wanted main vaults, so to speak, or wall vaults, I've put them on this end. Again, because we're on official settings, the collision settings are a bit challenging, so I couldn't actually get a ceiling all the way over to the wall itself, so I've closed that by using vaults. Cryo fridge box, again, a lot of people are really liking this type of build at the moment. Again, on official you have a lot of collision settings, so even being put in here, for some reason it kept saying the item was blocked or the item couldn't be placed when there was just nothing touching it. So yeah, but I mean you could probably add another one or two in here, but essentially again just trying to show you guys what you can or can't do. From there you have your mini crafting station. Again, you can use the smithies and you can use the boxes on top. Even though there is that slight collision there, it doesn't affect the use. So again, here to maximize our space, we actually have the storage boxes hanging off the ceiling rather than on. And again, as you can see at the corner, I can open the forge nice and easy. So standing here and doing bullets or doing gunpowder will make it nice and easy. And finally, coming around to the final side, a little bit of dino storage for the dinos you don't want to keep in cryos. Here's also where I would personally put down some ACs to hatch a few things, and some refrigerators, and obviously the cooking station and whatnot. But overall, as you can see, this also gives you a really nice sniper position if you're online while being attacked. Alright guys, thank you for watching. Now as you can see outside or in the actual entrance, like I said, there's still a lot that could be done here, okay? I didn't want to spend all day just doing spam after spam after spam, so you guys, like I said, add whatever spam you feel you need. Don't forget to subscribe and give a thumbs up guys if you enjoy this video, because it really helps me out on YouTube. And until next time, I'll catch you on Alphaborn.